podcast where we keep it relevant, encouraging, accurate, and liberating. It is my goal to discuss real issues that we are confronted with on a daily basis within our society. We focus on hard hitting, in your face topics to provide conversation that will hopefully lead to change. So here we are today. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Hope you had a victorious, blessed, productive, peaceful, and every other positive thing that I can wish upon you. I hope your day was that and then some. I'm excited tonight because, of course, we are live and we are well. We are here. We are kicking. Wonderful things are happening. And I hope that wherever you are, whatever you're doing in your life right now, that you are experiencing some wonderful, wonderful things. My hope is that you, yes, you, wherever you are, if you're at work, you're driving, you just got in, you got the kids, you're trying to get dinner together, and you're trying to do whatever. I hope that everything is going great and hope everything is going wonderful for you because you deserve it. You deserve greatness. If nobody told you today, I want to let you know that you deserve greatness and you deserve to be blessed. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to have peace and you deserve to have all that your heart desires. So listen, um, a lot of things going on, a lot of things happening, a lot of things that have taken place in our society in this country. No one should be a stranger to what's happening and what's going on. Today or this evening, I did not. I had a topic that I was going to go on, and with everything that's going on, I was like, you know what? I'm not going to just stick to a particular topic or to title it or what have you. I was like, I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight, and so I thought tonight would be a wonderful time to just have a conversation. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk about some stuff that's happening, some things that's going on right here in our society, right here in America, right here, and with everything that's going on. Let's talk about that. One of the things that I want to do, and my desire, anybody that knows me knows that my desire is always to keep it real. I don't ever want to say one thing and do another thing. I want to keep it real with you, and I want to talk to you from my heart. And so let's get ready to jump right into it. Because hey, everybody should know. Last night, yesterday was the midterm elections and everything that transpired with that. And I didn't really watch it. I didn't really keep track of it. I said, I catch the results when it's time for the results to come in. And but and as I was waiting for the results and as I resided and just waiting and not trying to turn to no news outlet to find out what was going on, one of the things that I did know is that if it did not go the way that the Republicans, the MAGA, the super spiritual who support the MAGA movement, the Christian nationalists, the white Christian nationalist movement, and all of those that profess to be prophets and prophetess in the Lord's church, but yet and still support a regime that is absolutely against Christ, against the word of God. I said, one of the things that's going to happen, if this doesn't go their way, we're going to hear doom and gloom. All of a sudden, they're going to have a word from the Lord. And that word is going to be doom and gloom because the election results did not go the way in which they wanted it to go. And I was hoping that I would be wrong. I said, let me be wrong on this. I hope that this doesn't happen. I hope that, these people don't try to wiggle their way around this and turn this into a God said type scenario or situation regarding this country because an election did not go their way. And lo and behold, I was wrong as two left shoes. Soon as I, got on, Facebook and logged in on social media platforms, all of a sudden it started happening. All of the super spiritual, all of the ones that they're the only one they can hear from God. All of a sudden, New York and everybody else is in trouble, and there's going to be doom and gloom, and there's going to be this, that, and the other. And no, I knew it was coming, and I knew it was going to take place. And yes, it did. Once again, It's one of those things where the people that I guess they're the only one that can hear from God. They heard from God last night or this morning, or God decided to talk to them when the election results came in and the election results wasn't favorable. And so all of a sudden they had a word from God. And here we are tonight. And I want to talk about that a little bit. Like I said, we're going to talk about some different things, but let's just talk like we sitting in the backyard, gathered around the fire pit and, sipping on some cappuccino, some coffee, or whatever beverage you prefer. And let's just conversate and let's just talk about that. One of the things that I want people to understand is that God is not Republican and that God is not a Democrat. I think one of the unfortunate realities of where we are and the things that we're dealing with right now is that people are under the assumption that God only thinks the way that they think or whatever they believe. And so you have this Republican Party, this MAGA movement, this white Christian nationalist movement that anytime something doesn't go their way, all of a sudden God has this word that is against everyone else that doesn't think like them or perhaps did not vote the same way. And I have a problem with that because I know for a surety that it is not God. I believe that people are hyper emotional. I believe that people are riddled with a lot of emotional, psychotic issues, super psychotic issues that they try to say God said because they feel that there's no one that's going to argue that when they say God said, rather than someone just saying, this is my opinion. I would have more respect for you, sir or ma'am, if that's something that you're doing. If you just said, this is my opinion, I can ride with that. I can rock with that. I get that. But don't sit up and say all of a sudden God gave you a word and God gave you a vision and all of these things are going to happen to New York. All of these things are going to happen to California. All of these things are going to happen because of an election. But you are silent. God didn't tell you anything when George Floyd was murdered. God didn't tell you anything when Sandra Bland was murdered. God didn't tell you anything with this regime that we have in the White House right now that is literally has not fulfilled a promise that was made. God ain't spoke to you about any of that. Now, I know God had to speak to you about the Epstein files. I know God had to speak to you about those 34 felonies. I know God had to speak to you about all of those victims that was allegedly raped and or molested. I know God had to speak to you about that. Oh, he didn't? Oh, okay. Because it supports your political stance and your political view, that you're willing to overlook all of that madness, all of that mess, all of the racist comments, all of the disrespectful, all of the mocking, the gesturing, all of the things. Right now, people are literally having to figure out how they're going to feed their children and their family in these next upcoming days right now, because this regime decided to cut out benefits that would benefit those that need it right here in America. But God didn't tell you anything about that. Come on now. This is my get out of here face. You kidding me? See, I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat. Let me say it. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. So I can stand back and I can just speak it like it is and tell the truth. That a lot of the things that you hear when people are saying God said, it is not God, it is their opinion. It is people trying to force feed you to believe that God only thinks like them. Because I would venture to say that if God was truly speaking to them, that they would have something to say about the way that immigrants are being treated when Jesus himself was an immigrant. Oh, yeah, but God didn't tell them nothing about that. I would venture to say that they would speak up and say the Bible says to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But they wouldn't speak about that. God didn't say nothing about that. Or the fact that all of the racism that's continuing to transpire right in front of our face, you mean to say God ain't said nothing about that? Come on now. The reality is we are dealing with people that are married to their political party more so than they are the God that they claim to serve. I want to say this to you right here, and I'm bold enough to say it. If you go to a church, if you are a member of a church, if you attend a church where the pastor is publicly promoting, pushing, supporting any political party or any political person or entity that promotes racism, that promotes division, that is a substance of confusion, if you are there and you are supporting that and you're sitting in the pews and you're saying amen and this and that and the other, then you are just as guilty of them. You need to find yourself a church where they're going to keep it centered around Christ. Are you hearing what I'm saying to you? Because this is something that needs to be said, and it should have been said a long, long time ago. Think about it. You would have a pastor that would stand up in the church and that would spew all of this stuff against the Democratic Party or against whomever, right? And not thinking that they may have people in their church that are Democrats. Sir, ma'am, is your political stance more important than the heart of the person that you have been called to reach? Or is it that you're not called? Or you haven't been sent, you just went. So the reality is we are living in a time where there is so much confusion where that people don't know where to turn. This man that's in the White House, the president of these United States that was voted in, have told y'all he is not Christian. But yet everybody, these MAGA, these white nationalist church movements and all of them, they want to try to crown this man as if he is Jesus Christ. And I know you're going to say, well, he is not my pastor, he's my president, he's not my God. But you all make him a God. Because no matter what truth comes out, man, it's fake news. It's hard for me to believe that everybody is saying this, that everything that's said about this individual, that everybody is lying. I mean, could it be? We're just talking tonight. We're just talking. If you guys want to, you're watching. You can throw some comments in the chat. If you're on Facebook, you're watching me live on Facebook. Go ahead and pop it up there. I will be able to see them, and I will do my best to reply to them. But we're just talking. You know, I'm not trying to argue with nobody. Not trying to get in no deep philosophical debate, but just talking. Because my concern is my heart is for the people that's out there that is confused and that's wondering what in the world is going on and where is God in all of this. Right? Where is God in all of this? I can remember I received a call from a young lady when the election was happening, not this election, but the first time that the current president ran for office. She was inside of a church, and the pastor told her and told the church that if they voted Democrat, they were going to hell. I want you to let that sink in for a minute. That if they voted Democrat, they are going to hell. Okay. And so now we're just talking here, right? We're just talking. So what you have is you have these super spiritual people, and they roll and they rock with the Republican Party because they say, well, we don't believe in abortion and we don't believe in homosexuality. You know, we are pro-life. I have a problem with that. Pro-life means that you are for life, no matter the color, the age, the ethnicity, the economics bracket they're in, or the tax bracket they're in. If you are pro-life, you are for life, from what Psalms say, from the womb to the tomb. So let me help you all real quick. Don't say you're pro-life because you was quiet when George Floyd was murdered. You was quiet when all of these minorities was killed at the hand of law enforcement officers unjustly. You was quiet. You didn't say anything. You didn't say anything when an individual who had just recently was murdered, who said that Martin Luther King was a horrible person. You didn't say anything. So you're not pro-life. Just say you're anti-abortion. Okay. And that way, that would not put you in a place where you have to answer what I just threw at you. Just say you're anti-abortion because you're not pro-life. Because if you're pro-life, that means you care about my life as I care about your life. You'll care about the life of individuals. If you was really pro-life, you'll be concerned about the poor kids. It's not that you sat down and had that big old steak and that potato and all of that food you ate, and you got kids that's sitting up here just barely making it. If you was pro-life, you would be concerned about that. So the reality is what we're having here is we have a lot of political people that's cloaked in spirituality, trying to persuade people that don't know any better that God is on their side and he is not on the side of anyone that votes in opposition of their political party and or view. Now, I don't know if you can digest that, but that sounds extremely psychotic to me, because the last thing I read, and when I read my Bible, talks about how God is love. And I'm always weary of somebody that's always got something negative to say, always doom and gloom. Can we just have something positive to say? Can I was always taught, if you compete, you win, lose, or draw. That those are the three options. If you win, you do it with honor. If you lose with honor. If you tie, you might be ticked off, but do it with honor. But don't sit up there and make excuses and complain and blame everybody. Don't do that. Oh, so this is what I'm trying to get everyone to understand. Please don't buy into this stuff. All right. Just as we need to start holding these political people accountable, you all need to hold your spiritual leaders accountable as well. If they start spewing all this stuff and all this madness, there's no way you should go to church, sit in church, and hear them spew the things against people that may not vote like them, that may not look like them, and that may not dress like them. There's no way that you can tell me that you should sit there and suck it up and take it and not say nothing, and sit there and bite your tongue and hold it in. That's not what God wants, I don't think. Come on now. We got to do better, people. We're just talking. Like I said, we are just talking. Like I said, hey, listen, MAGA, Republican Party, you spiritual people that believe that God is a Republican and that he hates anyone that's opposite. I want you to understand that if you believe the way you believe, and if you say what you say is real, this is the time for you to start pulling people together rather than tearing people apart. Because it's hard for me to believe that God is silent about all the many things that this current administration has done, and you have remained silent because you are complicit. But yet, you want to all of a sudden have a word of destruction and doom and gloom because an election did not go your way. So I want to initiate something. I want to ask a simple question. For those of you that are MAGA, white Christian nationalists, why are you Republican? If you are a believer, you read the Bible, why are you a Republican? No, I don't want to hear about abortion or homosexuality. Why are you Republican? I really want to know. I really want to, uh, um, you know, understand this, because I'm somewhat conflicted, because this all I hear is, well, you know, I don't believe in abortion, and I'm pro-life. I don't believe in homosexuality. I believe God created man for woman, woman for man. I believe God created Adam and Eve, and not Adam and Steve. I get all of that. I've heard all of that, and I get it. And you can feel that way, and you can believe that way. But my concern is, in your belief, are you showing Christ? Or are you turning people away from the Christ that you're supposed to claim to represent, because your representation of him is ill. It is odd. It is not right. So just a question. Just a question. Just a real simple question. We're just talking tonight. Like I said, we just talking tonight. We're not uh, you know, going too deep, you know. We just talking. So my question is, and if you can DM me, if you're a Christian or a believer, why are you Republican? And why are you Democrat? I'm curious to know. I'm curious to find out. Get that information. Why? I haven't heard anyone give any answer that promotes the God that they say they serve. So why? Just curious to know. So we're just talking. So here's my prayer. My prayers for this country, that this country will heal, that this country will rise and operate in a place of unity and not division. My prayer is that leaders will do just that, lead by example, and that the leaders that are in place will have a heart for all people, regardless of how many zeros are at the end of the first number in their economics. That they would stand to do what is right for all people, that they would be a representation of all people, that they themselves as leaders abide by the laws of the land. Because see, you can't lead if you can't lead if you can't follow the rules. You can't. So that's what my desire is, and my heart is that hopefully the super spiritual, the way out there, the ones that only God talks to. I'm waiting to hear how you can explain your support of a regime that goes against everything that the Bible that you represent speaks of. Mhm. So I'm waiting to get a real answer. And I know my Bible. So don't come up with no foolishness. I know my word. So I'm really trying to understand it from a perspective where it does not create any level of confusion. So now we talked about that. Whew, we can take a deep breath. We can exhale. So now here we are. Um, what else going on in the world? We're just talking tonight. I said we're just talking. That's what we're doing. We're just talking tonight. So elections. Whew. So that came, and it is what it is now. And the people that's in place. Wait a minute now. Wait, because you all said that when the president, that's the guy that's in the office right now, this president that spews all that racism and division and confusion and everything, you all said that God put him there. So do you mean to say that that mayor in New York that just got voted in, that wasn't God? I'm just asking a simple question. That wasn't God? Or the fact that all of these other individuals that wasn't Republican won all of these different positions seemingly by like a landslide. That wasn't God? You mean to say millions upon millions of people missed God? Because you said that the guy in the White House, God put him there. So is it fair to say that the mayor of New York and the mayor of Virginia and all these other places that God put them there? Just a question. I'm just talking. I'm just throwing some things out there, just trying to figure it out for myself. I'm just kidding. I know what's up. But really just trying to see, gauge some things. So here we are. We are what, 50 some odd days away from the new year. 2026 is going to be upon us so fast. It's going to be here. It's going to be a new year. And there's a lot going on. Can I talk to you just from a heart? It's not about what you have. It's not about what you don't have. It's not about what you drive or what you live in. It's not about how much money you make. It's not about the label that is on the inside of your clothes. It's not about the people that you have on your phone and who you can talk to and how many millionaires you know. It's about what's in your heart. It's about how you treat people, how you speak to people. It is about how, at the end of the day, even if you and I don't agree on something, that we can still be grown enough and mature enough and kind enough and loving enough that we can have a conversation that does not involve name calling, disrespect. We still, at the end of the conversation, may disagree, but we can walk away from it knowing that I know where you stand and you know where I stand, and we can still respect each other for that. I want to just say that that would be a wonderful thing. That is what we need in America. Not all of this division, not all of this immature name calling and all of this stuff that's going on. People have made millions of dollars and they have manipulated millions of people doing it. I truly believe that there are so many people in our country right now that's under, it's almost like a spell, under mind control, under a level of deception that is absolutely something that we have not seen before. And here we are, here right now, young people looking up, looking, wondering what's going to happen, what's going on, why all the confusion, why all the mess, why all the madness, wondering who's going to stand up and say something, who's going to stand up and speak for what is right, who's going to stand up and say something that is going to bring about some level of change and some level of, you know, unity. Where is that in the body of Christ? Where is that in the church? I don't ever hear anybody talk about unity. You know why? Because I think that some don't want unity. I think some pray, not P-R-A-Y, but P-R-E-Y, on individuals through division and confusion. But I said all that. Now let me go deeper. There's people out there right now on the real that's struggling. You're struggling with various things. You're struggling with addictions. You're struggling financially. You're struggling in your body. You're struggling within your relationships. You're struggling within just trying to keep a roof over your head, just trying to keep lights on, food on the table, just trying to keep clothes on the kids' back. You don't know tomorrow how you're going to get gas in the car to go to work or to drop the kids off from school. I want to encourage you tonight that in spite of everything that's going on, in spite of everything that's happening, God is still there. The real God, not this other stuff, but the real God. He's still there. Secondly, there are people in this country that still operate with compassion, that still operate with love, that still believe that it's okay to help their fellow brother or sister who's going through something, still believe that it's okay to be nice and to be kind. But I want to encourage you, don't give up. I know going through sucks. I know when you're dealing with things, it's difficult. I know when you're trying to figure things out and you're trying to gauge this and that and the other, and you're going through the pain, the drama, the trauma, and all the issues. I know it's difficult. Don't give up. Don't quit. You're closer today than you was yesterday, and tomorrow you'll be closer than you were today. So please don't give up. Keep on pushing, keep on pressing, keep on looking yourself in the mirror to encourage yourself. Keep on reminding yourself that you are great, that you are a winner, that you can overcome and you will overcome, that there's greatness inside of you, that there's blessings laid up and stored up for you. Keep on speaking that and keep on standing on that and claiming that. Don't give up. My company, we deal with people who is at the lowest. They've been incarcerated. I have clients that are incarcerated right now. They've made some mistake. They've done some things that they shouldn't have done that they regret, and it has cost them years. And I always tell them, it's not too late. Your situation is what it is. Your physical situation is what it is. But you can change your mind, you can change your heart, you can think, you can change your thought pattern, your mentality, all of that you can change, and you can be better and you can be greater. I need to tell you tonight, because with all of this that's going on, we're missing the wonderful experience to encourage each other, the wonderful experience to just lift somebody's spirit, the wonderful experience just to say something nice and kind to someone. I want to challenge you tonight. When you, whatever you go tomorrow, work, school, whatever, I want you to pick out one person and say something encouraging to. You may not know what to say. Just say, you know what? I don't know what you're going through, but I believe that you're going to make it. You look nice today. I appreciate your kindness. I appreciate what you do for this company. I appreciate what you do for all of us. Tell your family member how much you love them. And all of this is just like everybody's just fighting, 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 fighting. We're missing this wonderful thing called encouragement and building people up, because that's what we need now more than anything. We need to be built up. We need to be unified. We need to we need to see love in action. We need to see love in action. And it is my prayer, my hope, and my desire that we as a people right here in the United States, that we will do better. We will do better. See, you can't make America great again, because with everything that transpired in the past, you would have to say, when was it great? I got a better one for you. Let's make America better. In fact, I got one better than that. Let's make Americans better. Let's try that one. And I feel like if we can get that one, maybe, just maybe, we'll see some things change. But until then, we got to keep on pressing. Keep a smile on your face, keep a positive thought in your mind, and don't let nothing pull you away from being who you are and who you've been created to be. That is my time. I'm 32 minutes and 17 seconds in, and that is my time for tonight. Like I said, nothing deep, nothing philosophical. Just wanted to talk and just wanted to have a one-on-one conversation, just you and I. I hope tomorrow will be great. I hope tomorrow will be peaceful, productive, and that you will win at everything that you set out to do, and that you will get positive results, and that no matter what's going on around you, that you will rise above it. And my name is Gary Adams. Thank you so much for your time. And I want to once again tell you that if nobody's on your side, God is on your side. Keep your head up, keep smiling, and remember, you're a winner. It's in you. Keep smiling, stay positive, and keep winning. God bless you.